Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch The Walking Dead's episode called Us, which aired tonight, March 23rd, 2014, stop listening now. Major spoilers. Here we go. First off, man, let me just say this was a perfect episode, man. I am absolutely, oh my gosh, man, I'm blown away. We're going to start from the end and work our way back, okay? And the first thing I just want to say is welcome to Terminus, man. Absolutely, welcome to Terminus. Drop your guns, come in and just embrace each other with hugs and just feel secure because we're going to eat your guts. We're going to eat your stomach, your face, your ears. This is Hannibal Lecter's hotel. That's what we're going to call it. This is where Hannibal Lecter in every single psycho killer, murderer, freak show, all right, lives. I mean, it's crazy, man. This lady at the end of the episode, you see Glenn, Maggie, Sasha, Eugene, Rosita, Abraham, Tara, and Bob. They all walk into Terminus. They finally arrive there, and there's this lady who is grilling up some delicious treats, man, on this grill. I mean, it looks like you're in, personally for me, it felt like I was in Iraq, when I'm watching the episode, because it was like, it's just makeshift type items. They had a grill out there. They were grilling up some type of meat, some type of flesh. They had a garden. Everything was like, you're almost like at a nice place. It felt like you were in a different reality. The lady, she turns around. She's like, it looks like you guys have had a long road. Let's get you guys settled in. And then she says, welcome to Terminus. But it was something about her face that I just didn't trust. Immediately when she says that, she's like, welcome to Terminus. Like it's some type of vacation spot, like this is, I don't know, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica or something, man. I'm like, what is going on? And then the episode just stops. And then all of a sudden you get the preview for next week's episode on Sunday, which is the season finale. I cannot believe this. Where has the time gone? I just don't understand. It looks crazy, okay? Let's talk about the episode, all right? Episode begins, man, with Glenn heading to Terminus, and he's trying to find Maggie, and he decides to go into this tunnel, this deep, dark tunnel, and it doesn't make any sense at all, but it was absolutely perfect because everything played out according to plan. Pretty much what they did is Tara and Glenn, they split up from Rosita, Eugene, and Abraham. And they decided to go through this tunnel because that tunnel was on a path to where it looked like Maggie, Sasha, and Bob had went through there. And the only problem with that is, it's just dark. There's no lights, man, obviously, because we're in a post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse type world, man. Anyway, they go through there. Through the tunnel, they run into a whole bunch of walkers that have, looks like the cave had, not the cave, the ceiling had actually fell down on the walkers, all right? And that was kind of cool, man. It was like the walkers were trapped inside of rocks, and then, Glenn went through and he looked at them individually to make sure they weren't Maggie, and then that's how he killed them. And then, they played into this this idea that we were talking about earlier and that they kind of showed us and told us about, is that the walkers, all they can see is light and sound. See light and hear sound. And they played on that perfectly. They actually showed you what happens. They showed you everything that you needed to kind of to kind of, I guess, certify that, what I'm saying, and actually show us that, okay, this is it. This is the one, all right? And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Glenn had his flashlight. He placed the flashlight down against the wall, and all the walkers just went towards the light. It was absolutely perfection, man. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, Tara, this was her redemption episode tonight. I really loved how they played this out. She gets her leg trapped in... how you say, a boulder fell on her leg, which totally like crushed her leg. I mean, I don't know how she's going to survive or walk after that, but she was. A boulder falls down and it crushes her leg, and then Glenn makes a decision to stay, which I thought was just amazing for his character because it kind of shows you that, the people that are from the original group, they have a better understanding and appreciation of life, man. And the people of their group, every single member is important. They're not going to sacrifice a life. They're not going to kill anybody unjustly. There has to be justification and a cause for all that stuff, man. And I love it, man. I absolutely love how all that played out. Anyway, to make a long story short, Glenn, he decided to stay there and fight. He fights off a couple of waves of walkers, and then they cut to a scene to where Rosita's driving. Eugene is kind of giving directions, and he's giving the wrong directions to Rosita, and it kind of shows you their relationship too. And I love the way tonight, Rosita had a whole bunch of lines tonight, and so did Eugene. You kind of, really broke open those characters, and you kind of see their personality. And Eugene is a trip, man. I don't really have anything more to say besides that. It's just absolutely hilarious how he's hitting on Tara, and oh my gosh, he was just they let Eugene run loose tonight, and it was perfect. Anyway, man, Eugene leads Tara on this leads Rosita on this little journey. They get to the middle of the train tracks, and then after that, they kind of give you an example of how smart and how intelligent Eugene is, even though he doesn't really look like that because he has that mullet. And he kind of lets you know, he says, at the rate that Glenn and Tara were traveling through the tunnel, they should have reached this point by now. Compared to how fast we were traveling inside the car, et cetera, et cetera. And since they didn't reach that point yet, there's a problem, there's an issue. All of a sudden, man, Eugene presses his seat back. He wakes the sleeping Abraham forward. He wakes him up, and when he wakes up, he's like, Rosita, why did you stop? You never stop. You never stop. They start arguing, and then Eugene looks out of the window and he sees someone. He yells, "You guys, guys!" And then all of a sudden it cuts back to Glenn fighting for Tara, and then all of a sudden you hear the vehicle coming, towards them, and you see headlights, and then you hear "Get down," and then after that you see all this gunfire, and they shoot down all the zombies, and then you see Glenn turns around, as he has his head covered and tucked down in the ground, trying to protect himself from bullets flying at him. He turns around and he looks, and there's Maggie, man. So Maggie and Glenn, they're back together, man, and it was just, I was like, what? I mean, it was like an emotional roller coaster because you don't know what's going to happen. First, you're thinking that Glenn's going to die. You're thinking that Tara's going to die. You think that all this bad stuff's going to happen. Then all of a sudden, great things happen. And you're sitting here like, oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, man, it was just perfect. It was perfect. Now we're going to kind of back up and we'll talk about Daryl for a second, man. Daryl is officially inside of a cult, man. Let me tell you about this cult. The cult is the guys that found Daryl on the floor after he was kind of, I guess you say traumatized, man. He was just in this funky state after he lost Beth. We don't know where Beth is right now. I'll go ahead and give you that update. We don't know where Beth is. Didn't hear anything about Beth in this episode. She's gone with that preacher, man. We're just going to call him Preacher Man because there was like either an upside down cross or a cross on the back of that windshield in the last episode. So we know that Beth is still alive, or we think she is, and then obviously I think they're probably going to run into her in Terminus or find her dead in Terminus. That's just my guess, but we didn't hear anything about that. We see that this cult has these rules. They have rules inside of this new world, and the rules are that you have to claim things. If you want something, you have to yell out, claim it, claimed, whatever. You have to say, I want that item. You seriously have to voice your opinion, I guess you could say, is the best way to kind of justify that. And if you don't do that, then someone else can claim what you have. It's just, I don't understand it. I think it's frustrating. But the results of this, if you don't follow these rules inside of this little gang, this little cult group, there's about 6 of them. 7, I think, including Daryl, and then one guy got killed tonight. And the reason why he got killed is because there's one rule, okay? And then one of the rules is that you claim it, and if you don't claim it, then it gets taken from you. And the other rule is don't lie. Those are pretty much all the rules they have. Claim it, and then don't lie. Well, one guy got caught lying, and they actually absolutely like beat him to death. Like, it was crazy. They stomped his brains in and then shot him in the face with an arrow. Like, it's crazy, man. And I don't think Daryl can even escape these guys because they're so sick and twisted. And that's pretty much where we're at with him, man. Now, check this out. We know that this group is now a cult, and check this out. The reason why, or the reasoning behind how they got onto that road to find Daryl, we understand that that's the same group that Rick was dealing with in the previous episode, like 3 episodes ago. Because Rick hasn't been in, about 3 episodes so far, except tonight when he returned. They're tracking Michonne, Rick, and Carl. They're tracking. They're just like, they're identical to Merle and Daryl. They're the same group. They come from the same cloth. They're cut from the same cloth. Man, they have the same skill set as Daryl and Merle. Okay, so they're tracking Rick, Carl, and Michonne, and now Daryl is officially a part of these guys, man. And I don't know what that's gonna mean. I think that, you know, whenever that time comes when they do meet, you know, obviously I think Daryl's gonna try to defend Rick, but the leader gave Daryl this speech tonight about how whoever this guy's that they're tracking, how he pretty much just jumped one of their guys, murdered one of their guys, and then took off running and allowed one of their guys to turn. So that's the whole reason why they're tracking this guy. And Daryl's like, hey, whatever, man, I'm following with you guys, you know? And that's where we're at. And check this out. They're all heading towards Terminus, man. That's where the road is taking them, man. And we're at Terminus right now. And I think Terminus is this place, this location where people are either eaten, people are murdered, or people are sacrificed, probably like on like this perimeter type vibe, to where, you know, they keep dead bodies on the perimeter, allow the zombies, you know what I'm saying, to just stay on that perimeter, and then, you know, they kill more people. They just add more people inside of this, I don't know, zombie pit to where they feed these zombies. You got to think, all those herds of zombies, where are those herds at? You know, obviously I don't think they're inside of Terminus. I don't think they have that much control over them, but I think that they're taking the people that arrive at Terminus. You know, it says if you arrive, you survive. All that come, you know, are secure. So it's kind of strange, man, because if they are eating this flesh, man, then their teeth should be kind of rotten, from what I understand about, you know, cannibalism or whatever. But maybe they're not doing that. I don't know. But I do believe that the lady is a cannibal. I believe that. I think that they are cannibals. I think that has to be. Why would there not be no one else? There was no one else out there. It was just that lady. There was no kids. There wasn't anybody. There wasn't anybody greeting besides that lady. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that she's the only one there, but I'm thinking that once they go inside Terminus, they're gonna give their weapons. They're going to get a room or something, and then after that, I think individually they're gonna take them and they're gonna pick them off one by one, man. They're gonna separate them, you know, and after that they're gonna take them and they're gonna kill them, man. They're gonna murder these cats and eat their brains. Like, I don't know, man. That's pretty much it, man. All that episode, that's pretty much it. There's no updates really about Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is actually put on hold right now until they get a better vehicle. They want to get like a military-grade vehicle, up-armored vehicle. That's what Eugene wants. So they said, they all kind of agree, let's go to Terminus. So here's how it's going. You have that group with Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, Bob, Sasha, Maggie, Glenn, and Tara. They arrive first. And then after that, right after them should be Rick, Michonne, and Carl. And then after that comes the cult group. And that is with Daryl and the rest of those guys. I guess you can call them, let's just call them the Bowman cult. Let's just call them that. You know, the claimed Bowman Club. There you go. Next week's episode, man, I don't know. It looks like from what I can see, they only show like a little, you know, probably like 15 seconds. It's just Rick alone, man. Rick is just sitting there alone. He has blood all over him, and Michonne, it looks like she's surrounded by walkers, man. But you know, Michonne, you know, she ain't having it. Michonne ain't having it. She's slicing them cats in half, man. So everything is everything is good to go. Everything is good to go, man. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again. I mean, that was a quick podcast, man. You know, less than 15 minutes. You can start watching the season 4 marathon, man, on Saturday at 8/7 Central on AMC, man. The Walking Dead season 4 marathon starts on Saturday, man. So I'm definitely gonna be live tweeting throughout the entire season 4, starting on Saturday, and then the season finale is on Sunday, man, 9/8 Central on AMC, man. We're out of here, guys. That's pretty much it, man. Yeah, wow. Yeah, Sasha's still alive. I'm happy with that. Oh, snap. Yo, we didn't even hear about, we didn't hear about anything about, Tyreese and Carol. Wow. And Judith. Okay. So yeah, we got to still get an update on that next week. Okay. So we'll see what happens, man. All right. That should be it. Right here.